This episode of The Gaming Outsider is brought to you by eWin Racing, the home of the best heavy-duty gaming chairs. I can tell you from personal experience that I've never sat in a more comfortable chair at my desk. eWin Racing has chairs for gamers of all sizes, too. As a Gaming Outsider listener, you can get 20% off your purchase using our promo code TGO at ewinracing.com. eWin Racing, the best gaming chairs out there.
How y'all doing? This is Kenny from the Walking Dead game. Well, actually, it's Gavin Hammond. I played him in the game, but it's not important. The important thing is you're listening to The Gaming Outsider.
Hey there, Gaming Outsiders. We're back after a week break, and we are raring to go. This week, Chris and Alyssa join me in a discussion about whether or not we game while we're on vacation. In news, we get caught up on all the major announcements that happened during E3 week, even though it's not E3. Alyssa also played the new game from Don't Nod called Harmony: The Fall of Reverie, and David stops by to tell us about a game he checked out called System of Souls. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. It is Monday, June 19th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Miss Alyssa White. How are you?
I'm okay.
And Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, Chris?
Still dragging the bottom of the barrel.
Don't know what that means, but okay. We are back. It's been a couple weeks since we did a regular episode. I am so excited to be here with you guys. Hopefully we played some games. We've had quite a bit of a break, but thank you everybody for your patience for waiting on us while we took a short break. I said we weren't available to record. I was out of the country. Zach was out of town. It was a big mess. But we're back stronger than ever, and I'm going to remind you again, probably going to remind you the next few weeks that R2V2 is coming October 14th. Sissy Jones, John St. John are coming. There's going to be tons of video games to buy, tons of video games to play. I'm working on a third special guest as well that has tentatively agreed, so that's going to be a good time. And we're committed, right, CB? We've paid for the flights for our VIPs.
Yeah. Otherwise we're
just
going to have an awesome dinner.
Yeah, right. Seriously. We've also got the hotel rooms booked, and it's a little nerve-wracking spending this much money.
Calm down.
This early. Dude, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for a guy like me. But
down.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Alyssa, are you going to be there? Is it still a question mark? Or is it for sure?
It's not for sure yet. I want to be there. It depends on my ride.
Hashtag kidnapping.
Oh yeah, we'll come get you if we have to.
I mean, please come get me. I'm not joking, by the way.
Well, we'll figure out a way to get you there. There are fans
I want to be there.
That
yes,
want to meet you.
I don't want to disappoint anyone, and I want to be there.
All right. Well, we'll figure something out.
But my ride is being wishy-washy.
Wow. I mean, there's not a train from Alabama to Chicago, is there?
I don't think so, and I do not do well on flights.
God, you would have to take a bus to Atlanta, I think, and then Atlanta train to
Chicago.
Yeah, and then she could take the midnight train to Georgia back.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Let's talk about some games. Alyssa, it's been a couple of weeks. What have you been catching up on?
Well, I started playing Diablo 4. Been playing it with Sean. It's a blast.
So much fun.
I am playing as a necromancer. I don't know about you guys.
I am a rogue. It's been a minute since I played. I haven't got to play since I got back from vacation. So
I'm playing the most busted class, sorcerer.
Sorcerer's busted? Why?
Oh my god, busted? It's so dumb what you can do.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen the powers.
I've died once, and it was because my batteries died.
Oh really?
Oh.
Yeah. You can just sit here and be like, I'm just gonna sit back and just kill everything and not care.
So what level are you guys?
I
30.
think I'm level 27. I think.
Wow.
It's been about 3 days since I played.
I'm still sitting around level 18 or 19 or something like that. I played a little bit before I left for vacation, but I got some catching up to do. But the cool thing is the levels really don't matter in terms of playing with somebody.
Oh yeah.
I could play with you guys in the way. I don't know what their secret sauce is that they're doing in this game, but it's not even like Borderlands. Like Borderlands did it where you can play together, but the weaker character is going to have to kind of hang back and just pick off what they can, but they still get the same experience, and they get a lot more experience, so you can kind of like power level somebody. But in this one, at least the way I was understanding when I was playing with Joel, because Joel was a much higher level than I was when I was playing, and it's the enemies that you were fighting are at your level. I don't know how they do that. Does like just whichever one's engaged with you suddenly like switch to a lower level or something like that?
It's just a power curve balance.
It's really great. It's not like an average.
No,
It's like it's very interesting to me, and I'm liking it. So, are you liking the changes, Alyssa, between this and 3?
I don't.
I
I don't remember much of 3, to be honest.
Mhm.
So I can't really speak on it too much. But I am really loving this game, especially the cutscenes. Aren't
they gorgeous?
Yeah, they're so beautiful, disturbing but beautiful, which I love.
I mean, just Lilith herself when she's first introduced in that like
Mhm.
cape-looking thing that's made out of it's just really
Dude.
cool.
I told you, everything Blizzard does from a CGI standpoint is
Mhm.
gorgeous.
Should have hired Blizzard for the Flash movie then, because
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Probably would have been better.
Maybe would have been. But yeah, we got to get on Diablo, like all 4 of us. We got to figure out a
sure.
time, because Zach's got a copy now, or at least coming. So
It's
all
on
4
the
of
way.
us, it's on the way. What else you been playing, Alyssa?
I also played Amnesia: The Dark Descent for the first time because
Like the original? Is that the old one, or is it the second one?
It's
or-
the original.
Oh
it's-
wow!
It's on Game Pass, and I really just played it because the new game came out, and since I never played Amnesia, I'm like, what's the hype around it? And it's held up very well.
Really? Okay.
It is actually fairly scary. You always have a sense of unease. It's more of take your time, go around, look at everything, find the story bits, solve a few puzzles.
And then hide in a closet.
Yeah, you do have to hide, which I'm not the biggest fan of in horror games.
Me either. I think that's what turned me off from going much further when I played it originally. I just felt like I was just constantly running away and hiding.
Well,
And-
I did notice that once you hide, most of the time the enemies will despawn. A couple of times, I think it's scripted so they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But if you hide, they usually disappear and don't come back.
Oh, well, that's helpful.
At
Wouldn't it be
least-
nice if it worked that way in real life?
I know.
You're running away from a killer, just hide in a closet, and they just like dissipate into dust. It'd be nice.
It would
Are you liking it?
I finished it, yeah. I really liked
Oh,
it.
nice.
I found the
Isn't there a
story
new
really
one?
interesting. There is The Bunker, but it's an open world game, so not sure about that one. But I think there's 3 other games besides those 2 in between.
And Chris, didn't you just pick up a Switch version of one of these games?
They're the visual novel ones.
Oh, okay.
Which I'll get around to at some point. Dude, Alyssa and I were talking before the show. Dude, my Switch backlog is getting dumb. Like it's bad.
My backlog in general.
Oh no, just my Switch backlog's over 200 games now.
You're never going to get to 200 games, man.
No, considering like 70% of them are strategy RPGs.
Yeah. What else? What have you been playing, CB?
Well, Diablo 4. Muy bueno. It's good.
Isn't it? It's just so addicting, isn't it?
It
It's very
Oh.
hard to put down.
Dude, like I said, just the sorcerer, it's so dumb. Oh, I have full legendary gear now.
At level 30?
Yeah,
Dude,
I think
you
all of my gear is
steamroll.
legendary.
like you can still like you'll get greens and blues that are like quote unquote better in like
Mhm.
one thing, but it's like, oh well, I would lose this. And so now I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh look, I can continuously cast because I don't run out of mana anymore.
That would be very nice.
Dude, it's gross. I've done some of the like mini boss because I've been going through each area and just clearing everything.
That's how I play. Like
Yeah.
I investigate
know.
every nook and cranny of every dungeon I can find.
But like even I've run across a couple mini bosses like in the open area that
Mhm.
like the names indicate that you would probably have a hard time with them,
Mm-hmm.
steamroll.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one in like an ice area that I'm just like, yep, nope, you're just gonna stay away. Oh yeah, because I can summon hydras, but I found a piece of gear and a spell, so I can now cast like 3 separate hydra pods with like 5 heads each.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So I was just sitting here, I'm like, summon the hydras, sit back, kill you.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
better than
it's-
me being able to summon skeletons. They die very easily.
Oh,
But it's cool.
those skeletons get real gross when you find the proper gear set, and you're just like, I'm going to continuously just keep making them.
So do you guys like go back and like after you've done the main story, go like roll another character just to see how it plays? I did that
Yeah.
on 3. That's super fun to do.
Oh yeah, I wanna play the druid next.
They play so vastly different from what I'm being here. I was talking to Kevin, and he played as I think he played as the druid, maybe, and he thought he didn't like the game, and he just tried another class, and now he's hooked. So
Nice.
it's kind of crazy.
So
I see you have on here Tears of the Kingdom. I thought you finished
still,
that game.
Still plugging, man.
Man,
I'm going around. I'm finding the little Koroks.
Are you torturing them?
Yes. I keep throwing them in wells.
I saw a video today of a guy, because you can make like anything in Tears of the Kingdom. A guy
Mhm.
made like the Batmobile from the Dark Knight trilogy that has the little motorcycle that detaches from the middle of it in the front.
Yep.
I'm blown away,
Dude,
by
it's
all the stuff that
so
people are.
insane. Like, we're gonna be seeing like TikTok videos of this game for at least a year.
I mean, dude, we were seeing Breath of the Wild TikTok videos leading up to Tears of the Kingdom. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't touched it much. I was planning on playing some over vacation, which we'll talk about when we get to our from the outside in topic. But I have been trying to get through Grandia 2, which is a JRPG that Kevin has wanted me to play for a long time. I'm literally at the final level, or like the final area that leads to the final boss of the game. At least I think it is, because I thought this game was ending about 4 or 5 different times, and then the story just keeps going and going and going. And I texted Kevin, and I'm like, dude, this game just keeps going. And he's like, I know, I love it. So this is Kevin's favorite game of all time, and I'm looking forward to taking a deep dive on it on a Patreon episode, because
Sonic the Hedgehog be damned. It's Grandia too. But I mean, then again, we know he loves Shadow the Hedgehog the more.
It's the joke that keeps on giving, man. But that is a really interesting game. If you like JRPGs and never got into the Grandia series, it's some really great storytelling. And the cutscenes remind me of the cutscenes of like the PS1 era JRPGs, like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, but just more refined. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like the animation moves the same way, but they just look better. It's just really cool. Some very, like, if I had played this back when it was released on Dreamcast, I would have been blown away by just how pretty this game looks. So Grandia 2. Anyway, let's get into the week's news, shall we?
Sure.
So we were gone for a week. We missed all of the, I'm not going to say E3, but we missed all of the I'm going to say E3, the E3 season stuff. I'm going to be calling it that for a long time. Just like AmFam Stadium will always be Miller Park to me.
Gaming demo season.
Gaming demo season. So we have a lot of things that we missed. The Summer Game Fest, the Microsoft Showcase, the Ubisoft Showcase, the Capcom Showcase, all kinds of stuff. We're not going to go through everything like we did if it just happened, because it's somewhat old news right now. But I wanted to kind of like go around the horn and give everybody a shot to talk about what stood out to them as most memorable, or what you're looking forward to. So CB, let's start with you.
Do you?
I mean, the obvious answer.
Need to ask.
I haven't watched this
straight 6 to midnight, man.
I haven't watched the Starfield stuff yet. What looks so? Because even
good.
Zach was like really stoked about this game now. So what did you guys see that I haven't yet?
Saw gameplay. Saw more of like story bits. More, dude. It like right now, I'm legitimately getting goosebumps thinking about it. it's just everything I wanted in a space game.
Nice.
Like
But what about the gameplay? Like, can you describe to me?
Shooter Skyrim.
Okay, so it's shooter Skyrim.
Shooter Skyrim.
No VATs. It's all full action.
From what I look like, it's all full action. Again, like you said, it's been a busy couple weeks, but I've watched it a couple times. Man, it just seems so fast paced. It looks gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
For a Bethesda game, I'm legitimately blown away.
I mean, they're not going to show you any glitches on a presentation.
Don't care.
Right?
Don't care. Not one bit.
I mean, I feel like we'd miss the glitches if they weren't there.
Yeah, it'd feel weird if there weren't any glitches.
Yeah. So, dude, I am beyond amped. Like, I'm trying to hold the colorful language back because
I saw you just pull one back. I was impressed. I thought it was going to come out.
It almost slipped just because I'm a very animated person, folks.
You like colorful metaphors.
I do. Sentence enhancers.
Yes.
And man, just the more I see of this game, it's just I'm beyond stoked. Like, granted, yes, I'm still getting my hopes up just because like Cyberpunk 2077 was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually just found out that
you like that game.
I did, but I know a lot of people didn't. And I actually just found out today that game is actually now a profitable game.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, makes me happy. This one, though, looks straight out the gate like, let's go.
And it's on Game Pass. It's still kind of blowing me away that
Incredible.
I'm not going to have to pay anything extra for
I don't
that
care.
game.
If there's a collector's edition, I'm going to buy it because it looks gorgeous.
Are you?
And the fact that I can build my ship.
I won't be doing that.
Shut up. Yes, you will. I
No,
will.
dude.
This game
I
is going
skipped
to
all that.
consume my soul.
Fallout 4, I skipped all that stuff. But again,
That's
we'll
why
see
you
plenty
suck.
of TikTok videos on all that probably at some point. Anyway, what else?
Star Wars Outlaws, man.
Why is everybody dogging on this game? I think
I
it looks
don't-
awesome.
Because it's not Jedi's.
Isn't that what everybody's been asking for forever?
This is like a reimagining of Star Wars 1313.
It kind of felt that way.
Yeah.
From what I saw. Like,
But
this is what we all wanted and what we complained about not getting when that game got canceled, and now we got it, and it was like,
that's
it's
the
just
problem,
another
is
Ubisoft
everybody's so that's the problem. Is the Star Wars camps, there's just either have the people that are like, oh my god, if it's not Jedi, it's not a Star Wars game. I don't care, man. Like, Star Wars is a huge universe. Give me things that aren't. And granted, there are a lot of people that are still pissed that Star Wars 1313 never actually happened. But
right.
Outlaws, I mean, come on. This screams like we know that we screwed up with 1313, so here we're going to give you this, and it looks gorgeous. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm going to be playing it. It looks like fun. Granted, yes, it was just a cinematic trailer, so we don't really know what the gameplay is or anything like that. But
what are you talking about? They showed 10 minutes of footage.
Oh, I just watched the cinematic trailer. I must have missed the gameplay.
I think that was
footage.
during the Ubisoft conference where they showed the gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah,
So-
I haven't watched it either.
It looks like an open world Ubisoft game set in the Star Wars universe.
Done.
And that's what people are complaining about. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, don't care. Shut up. Be happy.
I'll go
Wars.
climb some towers. I'll go open up the map. I'll go hit all these points on here. That's what I want.
So we got Star Wars, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bring it.
Done. Don't care. That's all you needed to say. Alan Wake 2.
Yes.
This looks dumb good. Like,
Which one is it, dumb or good?
dumb and good are two different things. I cannot use proper sentence enhancers to establish my feelings here.
So you replace a sentence enhancer with dumb?
Yep, dumb.
Okay.
Well, just imagine another 4-letter word. Dumb.
Yeah. Okay. It's looking very
gorgeous.
like over the shoulder Resident Evil 4 style of game, which I understand that's what Alan Wake was to some degree in terms of like, I mean, but I only saw the gameplay of the secondary character, the female character, like an FBI agent or something that you play. Is there still more of the flashlight stuff with with Alan Wake? Because I don't.
It kind of looked like it.
Okay, because I couldn't tell for sure.
Dude, it looks real good, and it
does.
it has that super creepy vibe.
Mm.
Just like the guy with the deer head. As soon as that showed up, I was like, oh yeah, because it gives me like that good like Silent Hill vibe, but Alan Wake.
Right. I need to go. I mean, we got a while since this one comes out. I need to go back and replay the original.
Yeah,
I think I have the remastered version.
Dude,
So-
we should pass the controller buddy co-op this.
Dude, let's do it. It's summer. We can do that now.
I know, and I already have the remaster loaded up on my Xbox.
And we could like maybe stream it. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Well,
That would
then
be
I'd have to
fun.
put on pants, man.
Yeah.
Final
First
Fantasy.
time for everything.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It looks okay. I mean,
Yeah. There wasn't a ton of like cool things they showed in this trailer. We were all excited to see it, and I was giddy seeing areas that I recognized from the second third of that game. But nothing that blew me away like the
Dude.
first time I saw the first trailer.
yeah, I'm
So-
sorry.
Yeah.
You waited too long.
The thing that got me though, because this one I actually watched live, was when they showed the trailer for something else Final Fantasy related. Did you watch it live?
No,
No.
I was on
get-
I was on an Ambalam.
Okay, so Jeff Keighley gets done doing the other Final Fantasy thing that he was talking about, not 16, but that other the other Final Fantasy 7 theme thing. That's gonna be like a mobile game or whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember
And-
the name of it.
And this is way before they closed the show with Final Fantasy 7. And he goes into like, and speaking of Final Fantasy or something, in the crowd, you could just hear the crowd percolate. He's like, and speaking of this thing, Square Enix and DoorDash have your back, and it just turned into this ad for DoorDash, and you could hear the collective groan of the audience, like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, you
And
mean
he
like
literally goes, "Oh, no, don't get excited, guys."
Like every time you open your mouth with a dad joke. Oh.
Yeah.
This is the problem I have with splitting a game that was originally one game into two games and putting a lot of time in between. Because by the time Final Fantasy VII, like the remake,
Renaissance. We're just gonna guess.
whatever it was called. By the time I
I don't
finished
know.
that,
Did they give it a name?
Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1. So by the time I rolled that though, I was like, so hyped. And then they're like, yeah, we don't have a release date for the second one. And I'm
You
like,
know how you get me more hyped for the second one? Re-release the first part on Xbox so I can go through and play it again and earn some achievements.
yeah, that'll never happen.
They talked about how it was supposed to.
They did, but Sony said, hey, we don't like exclusivity for Xbox.
Yeah.
Just ourselves.
Well, speaking of Xbox exclusives,
Senua. Senua looks so gorgeous.
Okay.
And I know
Well,
Go ahead.
it's just a weird thing. When you were watching it, did it kind of feel like your brain was being flossed with the audio? Or was that just a me thing?
That's what they do. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't
did
even
you
have
play
headphones.
did you
But
play the first one?
I did. And I wore headphones when I played the first one, but I was just watching this trailer on my phone and I could hear the audio like bouncing through my head. No headphones.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, they're real good with that. To me, this is Senua. To me, is like the ultimate tech demo for what you can do with audio.
Mm-hmm.
And like they do it so well. This game looks so gorgeous. I've been hyped on this. I know you were talking a few weeks ago about like whatever happened to Senua 2, and here it is. And I'm like,
Here it is.
let's go. Like just it. I loved that super creepy vibe of that entire atmosphere and just walking around. I mean, granted, yeah, there wasn't a lot of combat, but it was so fun to just like look at and like figure some of the puzzles. So I'm really excited to get back into that, especially because this
Problem is
looks
I
like
don't
there's
wanna
more
go-
combat.
Yeah, and I don't want to go back and replay the first one to get caught up. I just really don't want to.
I would gladly play the first one again. I liked it. So
I did not like those puzzles. I love the atmosphere. I love the creepiness of it, and I was intrigued by her story. And then I hit a game-breaking bug and never finished it. So anyway,
it was delicious.
Hmm.
Under the Waves looks kind of fun. I like underwater games. I've been looking to scratch that itch since the second Subnautica game.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks fun. It's just something that I like putting on my radar, not expecting a whole lot, but it's there.
Okay.
And then the gloriousness that is John Carpenter appeared.
Now, would you be as excited for this game if it didn't have John Carpenter's name?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I would. Because damn, that trailer was awesome. That was the most perfect pairing of music and just utter guttural violence.
Wasn't it like Bon Jovi?
Yeah.
Like,
Bad Medicine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, But that's what feels so good about it, because I'm like, this feels so John Carpenter, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, just 80s, just awesome hair metal, and then just guns and zombies. I'm like, yes, so much yes. Like
Yeah.
when I saw the announcement for that, I was actually on the ambulance. I pulled over, turned the trailer on, and like the rest of the day, I'm just like, John Carpenter's back, baby.
All right, Alyssa, what about you? Anything stand out to you?
Well, I have several that CB has already covered, so I'll kind of just go through those. Alan Wake 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Star Wars Outlaws, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I am looking forward to Metaphor Re Fantasio because it is from the creators of the Persona series, and it looks like Persona. I don't really know what the story's going to be about, but it's not Persona. So, Clockwork Revolution has very strong BioShock Infinite vibes. Cautiously optimistic about it because I had those vibes with Atomic Heart and that let me down.
Yeah.
Hoping this one's better. And then
isn't Clockwork Revolution, that's the steampunk style game?
Yeah, it's got a steampunk vibe to it.
Yeah. Didn't that get like announced a long time ago?
I can't remember.
I vaguely remember hearing about this game like a while ago.
Maybe it was announced. And then I am looking forward to Persona 3 Reload. I hope it does it justice because I really do want to play the third Persona. Never had a chance to.
Didn't Sony like leak that themselves?
I think they
before?
did, yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. Persona 3 is the controversial one where like the character like puts a gun to his
they
head.
put a gun to their head to go to the other realm. And I didn't put it on the list because I don't really know what it's about, but South of Midnight, just the graphics from that really intrigued me.
I'm surprised nobody mentioned Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I know it's not the Prince of Persia game everybody wanted, but it's the one I wanted. I think it's it's a 2D gear gated game, as it were, which kind of pays homage to the original Prince of Persia. So I think that's kind of cool. Sonic Superstars. I was really surprised to see that game. I was not expecting a 2D Sonic. It looks very polished. Maybe you can play with multiple people. Am I seeing that trailer correctly? Like,
Well, I mean,
like up to 4 people at one time?
I'd imagine you could because Sonic 2, like all the way back to Sonic 2, you could play with 2 people.
Right, but somebody was Tails. This is like everybody is their own Sonic character. I don't know how that's going to work with speed being a thing in a Sonic game. You know, in Sonic
your
2,
friends and run the opposite direction and stop the screen.
I mean, even with a Mario game, which is obviously much slower, keeping 4 players on one screen was a pain in the butt. Back, like, what was it, Mario Wii U? Super Mario Wii U, where you could have like 4 little Toad characters, and that was annoying. Let's see what else. The Shadow of the Damned remastered.
Okay, I'm excited for that one as well.
Who thought that was happening?
I did not.
Never in a million years did I think that would get remastered, and I can't remember. CB, have you played that one?
No.
We are going to controller pass that one.
I think you would like that one, CB.
That's fine.
'Cause
that was on 360.
That was 360 and PS3, yeah.
Yeah, I own it. I've just never played it.
I don't know, Alyssa. He could go either way with that one because
okay.
that game is very, very weird. And the stuff that we
weird.
are assuming
I
that
like weird.
No, this is like doesn't make any sense weird. Like,
Are you kidding me? Those are some of my favorite games. Like, look at Bulletstorm. That was just weird. The original Bulletstorm, not the Duke Nukem redone.
no, I understand, but it's hard for me. I don't want to describe because I just want to sit down and have you experience the game for the
Really?
first time.
Coming from the person that loves Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. You
Don't
want to
love
tell
that
me
game?
I enjoy that game
No,
because
you do not.
yes, I do, because I enjoy
You
watching
enjoy
your
that game
torment.
exists, and yes, you like to watch people suffer through it. You do not enjoy that game.
I've beaten it. I've played through it.
So have I. It's terrible.
I like
There's
weird
no
games.
such thing as a bad game. Just this one.
Hey, it's just not for you, man. But it is for me.
No, Shadows of the Damned is still a fun game to play. It's just very weird, and the sections, Alyssa, that I think you and I are assuming he's going to like, he might not.
Okay.
I mean, just like I would assume that Chris would be the kind of guy that would love the Fast and the Furious movies, and he despises those movies. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So I think
get it right. I love the first two.
mhm.
But then when you're like, we're going to completely course correct and change what this franchise was about and
Mhm.
expect everybody who loved the first two to keep loving these, that's why I don't like it. Because I'm like, you built a franchise off of one thing and then turned it into something completely different.
Well, then we got that going for us because this game is its own. It's not a sequel to anything. It's
there you go.
and it's got the coolest name for a character I've
Yeah.
seen in a game in a long time, Garcia Hotspur.
Yeah, we
What
can't
a
say
cool-
his middle name.
And we can't say his middle name. That's not really
It's a sentence enhancer.
Yeah. I like this game already.
Oh, and the turret sequences, Alyssa, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And it has the coolest side character.
Yeah.
Like your little talking companion. It rivals Mimir. It's pretty
I mean, his name is great too. Which
Johnson.
I mean,
Johnson, yeah. He's not going to be quite as clever, and he's not going to have the mythology behind it. But it was my favorite voice acting performance by far that year. It was really good. So yeah, you guys took all the ones I was talking about. So that's that. Let's go to the other stories real quick. Alyssa, any of these stories intrigue you that I didn't even read through them. We got some new games available for the Nintendo Switch Online. Final Fantasy 16 actually is getting a day one patch, and Xbox is not making first-party games for Xbox One anymore. Which story would you like to talk about, Alyssa?
I'll talk about Final Fantasy 16 because I played that demo and loved it. But it is actually getting a day one patch. Square Enix previously said that there would not be a patch. They've now confirmed that there is one, however, it's only 300 megabytes. The download is not required to play the game, and no internet connection will be needed. And the patch will fix back-end bugs that stop progression or cause crashing in very specific circumstances.
Yeah, I added this one just because we made such a big deal, and by me, I don't mean us, I just mean game journalists that actually get paid for doing this. Made such a big deal about, Final Fantasy 16 is not going to have a day one patch, and they made a big deal announcing it. Like, we promised this game is going to ship exactly the way we want it, and lo and behold, here you go. I just thought that was kind
to
of
be
funny.
fair, 300 megabytes.
To be
is
fair.
nothing.
Yeah, especially considering probably the size this game is going to be.
That
Yeah.
feels like, we had to change like 80 lines of text.
Right, but then don't say it. Don't promise. I mean, not like it's a big thing to promise, because at the end of the day, for most of us that have an internet connection, and this isn't going to affect people that don't have an internet connection, just don't say it.
But like I said, this seemed like somebody found a bug that it's like, if I face the wall while crouching at this specific degree, I can fall through the floor and break the game.
Right.
Like in one specific, like that's what this feels like.
Mhm.
It's just like somebody's like, hey guys, I found the one bug.
Mhm.
So to
yeah,
me,
it's a
that's
very, very small.
even if you didn't have an internet connection, this feels like you would have to search out this bug to make it happen.
Right. I honestly don't care that there's a patch. I'm used to day one patches. I don't have a huge problem like a lot of people do. Mostly because it doesn't affect me. I just feel like that's the age we live in, that the games are going to be patched on day one. I get patches for indie games. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's just kind of the way the world works. I mean, early access is a thing now, for that very reason. It just don't promise it. It just seemed like you're not going to get the positive attention that's going to drive sales by saying you don't have a day one patch.
Make it a day 2 patch. Like, haha, gotcha.
Anyway, CB, what about you?
I'm gonna talk about some Nintendo Switch games.
All right.
Hey.
Dude, Mystery Tower finally coming to the US.
I didn't know. I was going to say, because I don't remember that game from my collection.
It's not.
So it's a Japanese one?
It is a Japanese puzzle platformer that was supposed to come to the US but never did.
I looked at the gameplay of that, and I have no idea what is going on in that game.
Yeah.
It looks
Move
very
stuff
complicated.
around. You gotta look at the room, find the exit, and then move stuff or trigger things to happen to get to the exit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a tower climber. Harvest Moon, Super Nintendo. Yes.
The only one I played. I played the mess out of the original out of Harvest Moon and Super Nintendo.
Which makes me happy. Even though I'm a collector, I own a copy of it on Super Nintendo. It's expensive. So for people to actually get to play the original version without having to spend plus $200, that makes me happy on the inside.
That was the first game I remember playing that scratched that OCD itch that I have on occasion, because I could plant everything in perfect, neat little rows. And there was something super... It sounds dumb, but going around and like digging the holes, planting the seeds, doing the water just space by space by space by space was so satisfying. And
I understand that.
Collecting the harvest and all that. I'm the kind of guy that would play Plants vs. Zombies and make everything... Like, I wouldn't go anything to the third row until the second row was completely filled, and there had to be it had to be perfectly symmetrical, going left to right. And Harvest Moon let me do that. It was one of the first games.
I'm gonna specifically build a farm in Harvest Moon and just give it to you, just to watch your brain just be like, I hate you. I'm gonna make like a checker. I'm gonna make like a checkerboard pattern, but like leave one row off.
Oh no!
I wish you guys could have seen CB's face while I was talking about my OCD stuff. He's just like shaking his head in derision at me, like I'm gonna mess with this guy.
Oh yes, yes. Kirby Tilt and Tumble, cute game. Man.
Now wait a minute, I want to talk about this one because this is the original Game Boy, and I watched the trailer and it said to play it you tilt your Game Boy forward and backward to roll Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing?
No.
Okay. Then how are I could understand doing that on the Switch. How did
there were a couple Game Boy games that had that like little extra piece on the top that had a side-to-side accelerometer, which was essentially a steel bar with a little magnet on it, and you tilted it side to side, and depending on which way the magnet moved.
This is tilting forward and backward. And it's not just something that they made for Switch, because I watched the trailer and they show like a Game Boy version, like that kind of graphic style of a Game Boy being tilted forward and backward, like an original Game Boy.
Maybe. So again, I don't have a copy of this on the original Game Boy, so I don't know, but I do know that they had games with the little accelerometers in them.
But you're saying that tilted left to right.
It could have been up and down. I don't remember which way it went because I know they do exist.
My mind was kind of blown watching this because I never realized that there was any kind of tilt mechanics.
I didn't either.
The original Game Boy. So
there's the Pocket Sonar too.
Pocket Sonar.
Oh, dude, you don't know about this?
No.
The original Game Boy has a sonar device.
Oh, that's cool.
What?
Yeah, you plug the cartridge in, and there's actually on a long, like electrical cable, a little pod that's sonar, and you can actually drop it in the water and use it for sonar.
For what purpose? What would you need sonar for?
So
fishing?
Well, at the time, it was like a cheaper version. Yeah, for fishing, but it functions. Dude, I will have to.
Oh, because it would use like a depth. It was like a depth finder.
It turns your Game Boy into a depth finder.
Gotcha.
So it's the Game Boy Pocket Sonar.
Nice.
Blaster Master Enemy Below, Game Boy. Never really played it, so I don't know on that one. Well,
I didn't either, but that game looks exactly like the NES version of Blaster Master. Like even the enemies are the same sprites.
Yeah, the the Game Boy was you could do some impressive things, man.
Yeah.
But then the exciting one, Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance. This was the first time Fire Emblem was introduced to the West.
Right. That's where Marth comes from, right? From
Marth and Roy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So-
that feels like a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's also at a pricey game.
Right. Good call. I'm going to talk briefly about the Xbox One not getting first-party games anymore, which again, I understand not everybody has an Xbox Series S or Series X, but there are plenty of games being made for the current generation. They're easier to come by. I feel like I'm not struggling to find S's or X's in the wild anymore.
No,
I even saw
No.
PS5 at GameStops.
I'm seeing more X's and S's that become available because I've watched X's be sold, and then I go back the next day and there's more.
Right.
So the supply chain issue's done.
Right. And then on top of that, they're even saying that these games will, like the current games, you can still play them on an Xbox One. You would just have to do it through
Streaming.
the cloud streaming, which isn't ideal. I understand that it'd be nice to do it natively, but you still have that option if you've got you got the internet. I don't know, that console is what 12, 13 years old now at this point.
Let it die.
I mean, I feel like this is something that people didn't complain about as much back like in previous generations. I understand some parents got upset like when the Super Nintendo came out and all these games they bought for their kid, wouldn't work on the Super Nintendo, but nobody was like, well, can I play the Super Nintendo games on my regular Nintendo? No, you got to buy the new hardware to play the new games.
I'm actually excited about this because it finally means that they're not making games that have to be on both.
Right.
So can actually push the games a little harder.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, this should have happened a while ago.
Yeah.
This console generation is what 3-4 years old now.
Yeah, but
I believe 3.
neither console has released more than 50 exclusives.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
is
time to focus on that.
This is the worst generation for gaming on both
exclusives.
sides. On both sides. Period.
For exclusives, I still think
No.
You think the Xbox One era was better than the Series
we
X
had
and S?
more releases. Like the release. Okay, the actual like good releases to me feel much slower. But
Dude, there's so many games I can't even keep up with.
There's so many games that aren't like the top tier AAA.
Okay, why?
So
why does it have to be top
to me,
tier?
this just feels like the worst generation for gaming that we've had.
Wow, I disagree wholeheartedly.
Like, granted, yes, when the games come out, they are stellar, but it just seems like throughout the 360 era, I just felt like I was constantly being pummeled in the face, be like, AAA, 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 here they come. Like, they just kept coming. Here, I'm like, okay, I gotta wait a while. Whatever. Because this has been the generation of constant delays. Nobody can find anything. Things don't work properly. Constant bugs, constant patches. Tell me again why this is the greatest generation that we've had for gaming.
I'm not saying it's the greatest generation, but it's far from the worst generation of gaming. Like this has been a stellar year of releases. I think this is more an issue of you've got a lot more free time than everybody else.
You just said it right there. This year, we are 4 years into this generation, and we're finally having a good year.
Right.
So,
but I wouldn't say I've had a bad time with the Xbox
not saying
Series
I've had a bad
or the
time.
PS5.
Not saying I've had a bad time. It's just overall, to me, this has been the worst generation that I can remember.
So it's the worst generation, but you did not have a bad time.
You can have nothing but A's across the board, but an A- still means it's the worst generation.
So every other generation had A's and A pluses, and that's it.
I didn't say that, but dude, you're missing what I'm saying. Like I've enjoyed every generation so far, but to me, so far, this has been the most lackluster, problematic generation to date. It doesn't mean it's not going to get better, but currently that's how I feel.
I wonder if it would be that way, if you'd feel that way if we didn't have the pandemic in there.
No, because nothing would have been pushed back.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had all these other issues.
So it has nothing to do with the console. It has to do with poor timing.
But again, because of the poor timing and everything else, it has turned into a problem.
That is Chris B at thegamingoutsider.com. If
Yeah.
you'd like to
Right.
let Chris how you feel about the quality of the Xbox Series X, S, and PS5 generation of games. But
That's the great thing about opinions. By the way, I did not note it. Like, I keep forgetting that this is this dude's name, but the CEO is Mr. Matt Booty.
uh-huh.
Dude, that name cracks me up.
Yes, me too.
His favorite game on the Xbox is Age of Booty, because it's all about him.
Call of Booty.
Cutie Booty Delivery.
Yeah! Cutie Booty Delivery Duty 2.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's go ahead and move on. And before we get to the new games we've been playing, I want to remind everybody about Patreon. We've got some new episodes coming in the very near future, and they are available to those that contribute monthly to our Patreon. We would encourage you to do so. If you're at the $3 tier, you get one bonus episode. If you're at the $5 tier, you get 2 bonus episodes, and you also get some extra entries into our monthly giveaway each month. Kevin and I this week are recording our next trade-off episode. We haven't done one of those in a while. I've been talking about it, but I spent so much time this vacation playing Grandia 2, and he's at the tail end of Robotrek, which is one of my favorite JRPGs from the SNES era. We're going to record that probably tomorrow, so there's a possibility by the time you hear this episode, it may be available. If not, it will be coming up very shortly. CB, Alyssa, you guys are still planning on doing the Star Wars Jedi Survivor spoiler cast with Zach, yes?
Yeah.
I'm planning on it, yeah.
All right. And then at some point, if I can ever get around to finishing Tears of the Kingdom, I'm going to we're going to do a spoiler cast for that
Right.
as well. Or is it needed, CB? Now that you finished, do we need it?
Brian Regals and I, we were talking about this. Like, we're both curious to see, because we've both finished the game.
Uh-huh.
So we're both curious to see how you feel about the ending.
Okay.
So,
Well, the three of us could do it then. We could have him come on and talk about it.
hey man, I'm down for whatever.
And that'll be
Let's do it.
fun.
But anyway, if you'd like to check out those bonus episodes or just help us out, head over to patreon.com/thegocast. We do appreciate the support, and we will go now to the new games that we've been playing. Okay, so here's what's coming up on the horizon. Sonic Origins Plus coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on June 23rd. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. CB, isn't that your farming simulator game? You like?
Half the original team from the original Harvest Moon.
Okay, there you go. PS5, X Series consoles, Switch, PC, June 27th. Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed, single player. I thought the game was already single player. I don't understand. Anyway, a PS4. Oh, it's getting a PS4 and Xbox One version, but it won't be supported by Microsoft. On June 27th, A Long Journey to an Uncertain End coming to PC on June 28th. AEW Fight Forever coming to PS5, PS4, X Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, PC, June 29th. Burn House Lane on PS5, PS4, X Series, Xbox One, and Switch, June 29th. The Lara Croft Collection coming to Switch, June 29th. I forgot to check that one. Is that the original games or is that the rebooted ones?
It's
It's-
Guardian of Light and
Temple of Osiris.
Yeah.
Oh, those top-down isometric ones?
Yeah.
Those are actually really fun. I don't know if you guys ever played those with a buddy, but those are fun to play. And lastly, Enclave HD, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, June 29th. If I remember correctly, that's like a first-person space shooter, but like old school.
From Xbox. From the OG Xbox days.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
I
been
think
getting-
it was on PS2 as well. PS3.
So, what about you guys? Anything from here? Trip your trigger, CB?
Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life.
I should have.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That's a GameCube game.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. That's a GameCube
Okay.
game that's getting like up-res and ported.
Huh.
So
nice. Alyssa, how about you?
Burnhouse Lane looks very creepy and disturbing, and it looks right up my alley.
Okay.
comes out the day before my birthday too.
Oh, nice. I gotta remember that.
Okay, let me look. June 29th. TV's birthday is the 30th. I gotta mark it on my calendar.
Exact middle of the year.
Yeah, yours is a month, exactly a month before mine. So that should be easy to remember.
And nothing for me. I'm in full catch-up summer mode, not only with games, but R2V2 and Patreon episodes, and we got a lot of work that we're going to be doing in the next week or two, CB. So
next month or two.
Oh man, several. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do. So, all right, Alyssa,
Yes.
you have been playing Harmony: The Fall of Reverie, and I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this game because you talked about it a little bit before the show.
Mm-hmm.
And you were talking about it might be difficult to explain because number one, you can't spoil anything, and number two, something about the language used in this game, and I don't mean dirty language, just
No.
like high end vocabulary or made up
It's
words.
just,
What's going on?
Yeah, made up words. It's a visual novel. It's excellent, by the way. I just finished it this morning.
This is Don't Nod, by the way, right? The
Yeah,
people that
Don't
made Life
Nod.
is Strange.
Yeah, this is their first foray into the visual novel genre. They bring their storytelling prowess into it. It's excellent. Basically, the story, and it's gonna sound really confusing, probably. You play as a woman named Polly, and her mom has gone missing, and they live in this fictional city called Atina on the country of Alma, and the world there is called Brittle. It's not called Earth or anything of that nature. And her mom, Ursula, disappears, and she is convinced that this mega corporation that has a stranglehold on the entire country, called Mono Concern, or MK, has something to do with her mom's disappearance. So while she's trying to find evidence that will link MK to her mom's disappearance, she sees this bathtub full of this glowing blue liquid and a necklace at the bottom of it. She reaches to get the necklace. That takes her to a spirit realm, where she learns she's an oracle, and in this spirit realm, she's named Harmony. And it's her job to use a tool called the Augural to choose paths in the future to try to bridge the divide between Reverie, the spirit world, and Brittle Earth, basically. So, gameplay consists of just, you see these nodes on a screen, and each node will tell you what will happen if you select it. It's a very vague description. But you have to be careful
Kinda like
about
Life
which...
is Strange.
It does have a lot of similarities. You can't go back, though, once you've made your choice, unless you want to restart the entire chapter over. But you have to be careful, because when you select a node, that will eliminate certain other nodes. And then there are also these aspirations, which are kind of the gods of Reverie, and you can choose nodes that will either gain favor with some of them, or you'll lose favor with some of them, selecting these nodes. And it sounds very complicated, I know. It's a lot easier when you're actually playing, and the game has a codex that tells you all these terms and the stories behind them. It's a lot easier when you're playing, trust me.
Okay.
But it's very interesting, and it takes a really good look at grief and depression, which the game does advise you that there will be segments involving these, and to take breaks if you need to. I appreciated that, and it did get to me at points. But I appreciated that. It's handled very respectfully and sensitively, but it's also very realistic.
Is this like a modern setting, or is it like a fantasy setting?
It's a modern... Well, it's technically modern, but it's set in this fictional world, but there's not really anything crazy going on, so I'd say it's more modern than anything.
Okay. Are you you said you're enjoying the story? Are you enjoying the gameplay of it too, or is this just a...
I love the gameplay. I made my choices just based on what I would choose morally myself, but you can tailor this. It's basically a choose-your-own-adventure type of thing, so if you wanted to align with a certain aspiration, you could make choices that would curry favor with that aspiration, or if you want to do the complete opposite of what you normally do, you could do that. Just whatever approach you want to do, the game allows you to do that. And it also invites you to replay the game, because then you could see what the different choices would make your story turn out to be in that way. I really loved it. It was about 8 hours, I'm guessing. I think I counted about 8 hours worth of gameplay. But yeah, it's a really unique visual novel that I really loved it.
All right, that is Harmony, The Fall of Reverie. You're playing it on Switch, but it's
available on PC right now, but it will be available on PS5 and Xbox Series XS on June 22nd.
Okay, so you got a little bit of a wait there, but sounds interesting. Thanks for checking that one out. We've got one more review for you. I had David stop by to talk about a game that he's reviewing for us called System of Souls. I'm going to play that for you right now. Well, hello there, Dr. Newman. How you doing, man?
I am doing all right. It is nice to wake up on a Monday and not have to go into work.
I feel you, man. I feel I get to do that for the next several Mondays, actually. So I'm a little excited officially on summer break. But
You shut your mouth.
we're not here for me to constantly brag about being on summer break. We're here to talk about a game you're reviewing for us called System of Souls, which comes from developer Chaotic Lab and was provided to us by Gamera Nest. This you're playing on PS5, but I know it's also on Steam, and I feel like you have kind of tapped into another new genre of games that you like, because prior to doing reviews for us, you had never played Portal, right?
That is correct. Still have not played Portal.
You've not played Portal or Portal 1?
I have not played Portal 1
Okay.
or Portal 2.
We need to do a Break the Seal at some point, because if you like this genre of game, you need to play The Grandfather. But the reason I bring it up is this trailer looks unapologetically, in the same wheelhouse as the Portal games. It even has the companion cube, or its version of a companion cube. So you being a person that hasn't played Portal, you can't use that as a reference point. So can you explain to everybody what System of Souls is?
Yeah, so it's a first-person puzzle platformer, essentially, with basically no combat whatsoever. And so, essentially, you wake up, know nothing. Turns out you are now a robot. You were in some sort of accident, and they've put your mind and soul inside of this robot. The company is called Ion that does this. And essentially, the idea is you're going through and they're putting you through these tests to then bring back your memories to see what exactly happened.
Sure.
But so how you do this is the tests are you pick up blocks and you put them on switch pads. Pretty simple, but of course then they have to throw in certain things where you have to, I guess, grapple around places and find different ways. But the basic concept is putting blocks on switch pads to open doors to then go to the next area. Similar to the game that I played before called the Entropy Center.
Yeah, absolutely.
But instead of a gun this time, your like robot hand is like has the powers and everything.
Okay.
And then it also introduces new abilities as you progress through like the different I guess stages is a good way to put it. So you'll get things like a slowdown. You'll be able to slow down things. And then like it adds in new elements like magnets and everything.
Gotcha. So it sounds, very similar in theme to Portal. Again, I know you haven't played it, and I shouldn't keep comparing it to that. This is its own game for sure. But it feels like you got a little bit more to do. Like you got different powers, like you said, slowing down, and even in the trailer, there seems to be a lot more platforming, which I appreciate. I think it looks really interesting. Does the story get more interesting? Or is it, and you say you're kind of like trying to unravel what happened. Is that a satisfying payoff by the time you get to the end?
Not really. Honestly.
Oh.
It's not. It's not. It tries to be an interesting story with a mystery and everything, but it just never really grabbed me. It was like just a break from the puzzles for me. Yeah, the payoff at the end is not very satisfying. It's also not. It's kind of predictable. I wouldn't say like I predicted it, but like after like looking back at it, it's like, oh, they did this. I'm not too surprised. So
Gotcha.
It's not the most satisfying story or ending, but if you like these like puzzles and everything, I feel like those are good. I wouldn't say that they necessarily have that necessarily satisfying feeling that I had with the Entropy Center, where I would take a long time to end up figuring it out. What I will say is that this game is a relatively easy platinum.
Okay.
It's only about 4 to 5 hours. Basically, you have to complete the game. I put in quotes twice, because what they do is you can go back to certain levels, and you can literally go back to the last level, and that's how you like get the different ending, is like doing 2 different things on that.
Oh, so there's multiple ways to solve each puzzle room, you're saying?
No, not necessarily. I just mean that the very end has 2 different ways you can end it. You can you have a choice, and that's like the only thing that you really have to do twice. The other thing too is you have to beat it in under 3 hours. But I think I might be mistaken because I haven't done it yet. But I think what you can do is you can go back and fix or beat things in the times that you've done before. And then if you get it under 3 hours, should get that trophy.
So you like to get a collective like number of minutes that it took to complete each one. It's not like you sit down and do the 3-hour sitting. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm thinking is going to be. Now, don't quote me just yet on it, because I haven't done it. I'm at like 3 hours and 4 minutes. So
okay. So System of Souls, are you recommending it for people to check out?
I would say, if you do like the first person puzzle platformer, it's not a bad game. I think it's $20 right now. It's a 4 to 5 hour a game, with a relatively easy platinum. So if you like getting platinum trophies, that's a good idea. I would say that I would recommend the Entropy Center if you haven't played that game first.
Okay.
So
fair enough. And I would recommend Portal, but I haven't played either of the 2 that you've talked about, so I can't really speak to it. But anyway, David, thank you so much for stopping by to talk about System of Souls. It's always great to chat with you, and I guess we'll catch you next time, all right?
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right. I want to remind you of our social media outlets if you'd like to join our community over on facebook.com/groups/the GoCast. Lots of great people over there, including our newest members, Jared Gaddis, Leo Watson, and Jesse Mann. Welcome to the community. Also over on Discord, our community is growing each and every day. We got some new members over there. First off, someone that goes by the name Smokey. We've also got Matthew Hildebrand, Jasper Hasselholm, Psychro, and Trees and Dragons. Hope you guys are enjoying the community over there. Also, please drop us a review on Apple Podcasts if you can. It helps us get the word out about the show. We would like more people to hear us for sure. And lastly, our website is thegamingoutsider.com. There you can find all our episodes as well as all of our written content, including our latest releases, Chris Owen's review of Batboy, Kevin's review of Screaming Chicken Ultimate Showdown, Alyssa's review of Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, and Sean Coates' review of Home Sheep Home Farmageddon Party Edition, and one more, Jacob Gunnarson's review of Zool Redimensioned, are all available on the site. Again, thegamingoutsider.com. With that, let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. I just got back myself from vacation, and it made me wonder what other people do when it comes to taking a break from life in regards to video games. I want to discuss whether or not you actually do any gaming when on vacation, or do you prefer to just unplug altogether while you're away and vacation from your game. So how about you two, before we get to what the community said, which way do you guys lean?
typically, I haven't actually been anywhere in 3 years, and I haven't been on like a vacation even longer than that.
Okay.
I will usually take my Switch, but I don't usually play it unless I'm just stuck at the airport not doing anything.
Right.
Because when I go on vacation, I want to go out and do stuff that I can't normally do in my very small town. I like to go out to different restaurants and see different sights, and I just don't want to be gaming during that time. I'd rather be soaking up the experience of being at that place. And usually if I do become really tired and go back to the hotel room or whatever, I just read to wind down. I don't really play a lot. So I have the option, but I usually don't partake in gaming while I'm on vacation.
Okay. How about you, CB?
Well, let's see. Since I bought my Switch, I usually take it with me just in case.
Mhm.
Because my vacations are very different than other people's vacations. Like,
You jump in the Libre tar pits or something?
Well, no, like, so I know you and I have gone round and round about this. I don't like to go to a beach and sit and just stare off into oblivion.
Oh, I can't do that either.
No,
I don't either.
Well, but see, I don't like my vacations are very like I plan everything. Cuz like if I go somewhere,
I'm out.
no, hang on. Let me finish.
I'm gonna let you finish.
But see, I plan things.
But Alyssa
too, like,
had the best vacation of all time.
Well, I plan things like when we went overseas. I'm like, I want to see this. So we pick those for like each day, and so we like, okay, we're going to like the Eiffel Tower today, but I'm going to look for things around that to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that's how my vacations are. That way, because if I'm going to go somewhere, I want to see things, I want to learn things, I want to do things. I don't want to sit there and just be like, hey, let's just go to the bar and drink. Like at night, like when we get back to like the hotel or we find a restaurant or anything, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, vacations are like, I'm only going to be able to see so many things in my lifetime, experience so many things in my lifetime. That's what I want to do. Now, like when we went overseas or like the last time my family and we went to Florida, here's how I get my gaming in. I find video game stores.
Yeah.
So like the moment we were like, oh, we're going to Paris, I literally, first thing I did, pulled up a list of every video game store in Paris and then every video game store in Dublin. And I'm like,
see, I get in trouble for that crap, man. Because I do the same thing and then like I have to deal with.
My family expects it if we go. They're like, she's gonna want to go to find bookstores, video game stores.
But see,
and they're just along for the ride.
That's the thing. It's my vacation. So like we're gonna do things that my wife wants to do. We're gonna do things that my kids want to do. We're gonna do things that I want to do. It's as much my time as yours. If somebody says we can't do this, then sorry to somebody who could potentially listen to this. That's not how relationships work. It's a 50-50 split on you do something you want to do, I want to do something I want to do. Dude, like, I'm sorry, like, you and I have gone around about this. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because it's, you are entitled to as much to do what you want to do as they want to do.
Yeah, I got a confession to make. You're not going to believe me considering I've been on 2 of them in the past, 3 months. I don't like going on vacation. I truly don't. For me, my ideal time off is staying at home. I want to stay at home. I understand the whole like go see stuff you've never seen before and experience and all that kind of stuff. But I got too much going on, and I want to do the things that I do not have time to do because I'm working and running a podcast and and guesting on another podcast.
I get that.
So for me, vacation is sitting home here. With that said, that is why I like to bring my Switch and game on vacation, because there's, if I get the opportunity, because my wife likes to plan things like you do, like an itinerary, and we're going to go do this, and we're going to go do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to, I don't like having an itinerary on vacation. I like going very much by the flow.
Let me kind of throw this though. So like I pick one major thing a day. That's it. Like I don't plan like
you just said you picked like the Eiffel Tower and then all the stuff around the Eiffel Tower.
But I look for things around it because if I'm going to one major thing, I want to find like, okay, well, if we have downtime, like say it's too busy or it's closed, I like to find backups. And believe me, my wife said, she's like, she told me flat out, she says, this sounds like it's going to be a miserable time. She's like, you plan every vacation going forward.
Yeah.
Because she's very much like you are. Like her vacations are, I want to sit down. I want to do nothing except like just catch up on some stuff and enjoy time. But that being said, like I like to keep busy, but keep the flow of things. Because like the day we went and saw the Arc de Triomphe, then we just like walked through a shopping district, and we tried local food. We talked to people, like we had a fun time. That's why I don't like cruises, man, because I'm so trapped on a giant floating mega, like buy everything in this giant floating mega thing.
I spent $6 the entire week, man.
But that's not how cruise ships are designed. Like you are the exception to the rule because those things are literally designed to just filter money into a boat that will never leave.
The entertain most of the entertainment is included, and I got the drink package. So,
but okay, so you spent more than $6.
I'm just saying, the cruise and the drink package, yes.
Okay,
that's all the money I spent on $6, and that $6, by the way, as on one of those push the key through the hole,
which was hilarious that you texted me about that. You're like, how do I do this? And I'm like, dude, it takes a lot more to explain this than I have time to explain.
What is this?
There's these games where like it's like a claw machine, but instead of it being a claw machine, you move the joystick and then you press a button and hold it until it goes up, and then once you release the button, it pushes this key-shaped object in here, and it will only fit through this thing at a perfect angle. And if you get it through, it knocks like I think there's like $1,000 in there. And CB explained to me that those things are basically set up like jackpot. They're
casino payout.
Yeah, so like they will only work when the machine says it.
And like I'm sitting here like explaining to him through text like things to look for on this type of arcade machine. And
I was about 4 or 5 Crown and Gingers in at that point, so like
Well, Scott diverts to me on these because he's literally watched me sit here and empty out machines like this.
Yeah, he gets banned from Tilted 10 and stuff.
Oh wow.
Well, no, not Tilted 10, but when it was
Nickel World.
Nickel World just hates me. But I spend money there. But what used to be 257 at one point in time, they were like, you can't come in because we're tired of you clearing out our machines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've done my research on like how those arcade machines work, and I could sit here and just be like, and I win. I win. It annoys them. I love it.
It's a lot of fun to watch, actually. But anyway, back to vacation. I will say I enjoy sitting and playing a game like outside or on the balcony or whatever. If you're lucky enough to have a balcony, it's difficult in the Caribbean, especially because like you can't, no matter how bright your screen gets, it's gonna be difficult to see when you're sitting outside. You know what I mean? But the thing that cracks me up is I can feel people staring at me. 43-year-old guy sitting there holding a Switch on a cruise. I can see people just like judging me, like give me these side-eye glances and stuff. And I don't understand it.
Oh, I do.
Because people will, if you run your phone or on your Kindle or, have a book, that's perfectly fine and acceptable. But you pull out a Switch and now you're a child. And
no, because I stare at the people with Kindle too, because to me it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars to go sit somewhere and do something that I can do at home.
Well, yeah.
Dude, I understand because it's no fault at you, because I know you like you went But I that's why it's hard for me to game on vacation, because I don't want to spend thousands of dollars to go and do something that I could just do at home. That's why
some of us don't have the time that you do, man.
Well, I know, but at the same time,
And some people like me, when we're home, we will look for other things to do.
I know.
Instead of gaming, because if there's a guilt factor of like, I should be getting something done.
Why do you think I always tell you, hey, why don't you just come over, Scott? Because then I know you're going to just like sever that and be like, okay, I can't work at the house because I'm not at my house.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like all the time like, come over, Scott. And you're like, oh, I got things to do at the house. I'm like, you should just come over, because I know you're not going to do
rescue
those.
you.
It's a lifeline without telling you it's a lifeline.
Well, you just told him it's a lifeline now, so.
Yeah, but he'll forget probably by tomorrow.
What? Forget what?
Yeah, see?
Yep.
There are people, and I won't do this, but there were people that because I actually started, there's a Facebook group for like our cruise that we went to. Not just like the people that I went with, but like the thousands of people were in this thing. And I posted in there and said, hey, anybody bring their Switch? I'd love to get together and do some Mario Kart with some people. And some people responded, and one person said, oh yeah, my son brought his console. Like his PS5. Brought a PS5. I couldn't imagine bringing a whole. I remember when I'd be scared carrying around a $500. I say that, and I carry around my MacBook. So, but I feel like a MacBook is a little bit more portable in terms of carrying safely than a PS5. I'd be snapping that pop collar off of a PS5. I put that in my suitcase. I don't know. Yeah, I would never bring a console. I would never bring something that I have to hook up to a TV. You know, the portable gaming machines are where it's at. So, we played some board games and stuff too on the ship. That was fun.
But see, that's like a bonding thing. Like
that's all I want to do on vacation, man. Is I want to hang out, drink with my friends, and play games like that. Like if it's outside, play some Can Jam, play some bags.
But see, you can bond
water
over
polo.
Experience.
Huh?
You can bond over experiences too. Like, hey, Scott, let's go on vacation to, I don't know, Italy. And you can experience going to see something like the Vatican together. Something that is beautiful and historical. And be like, hey, remember that time that we did this?
Yeah, for me, part of it is the stress of getting from place to place and being stuff at certain times and having to get back at a certain time is the part that makes it not relaxing.
That's
for me.
why I hate cruises.
Yeah. That's my thing with airplanes.
But see right there, like you explained why I hate cruises. You are limited to a time factor. Like, oh, you've got 6 hours off the boat. Go do some things. And you're like, oh man, this is really fun, but I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, when you're on the boat, there's times your own. But
yeah.
Anyway, that's what we thought about gaming on vacation. I like to, but I don't get to as much as I'd like to. This vacation I did. Mostly because I was on a mission to finish Grandia 2, and I wanted to make sure I got that done because it's been lacking. And I was hoping to get to some Tears of the Kingdom, but Grandia 2 just was longer than I thought it was going to be. So, anyway, moving over to community responses. Alyssa, why don't you start things off with Kyle's comment?
Kyle Boggs writes, I wish I did. I would take a handheld with me if flying for sure. I forget to game at home because I'm busy. My back catalog is huge.
Now see, I can get that. Like, if I was going... actually, that's why I did take my Switch with me when we went overseas. Because I played
It's a long
Switch.
flight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 9-hour flight, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to Australia, dude.
Yeah, trust me, that flight's going to suck.
I think it's like 21 hours, I think.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that.
Yeah, make sure you get up and move around the cabin. Blood clots are a thing.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm not looking forward to that. Hopefully the chair's comfortable, but...
Dude, if you do not go to a single video game store in Australia, I'm going to pimp slap you.
Really think I'm going to go all the way to Australia and not go to a video game store?
I don't think it's the fact that you won't. I think it's somebody who will try to prevent you. Moving along. David Koenig. Koenig. God, It's last names, man. I slaughtered
I'm
them.
pretty sure it's pronounced Koenig. The only reason I say Koenig is because there was a book series I read that the character's last name was Koenig. It was Doug Koenig. It was spelled that way. So this is David. But
brain farts. David, if you're listening, please let us know.
Yes, please.
David Koenig I'm all over this one. I live for travel and do as much as possible. 80 countries now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
We follow each other on Facebook. He's got some pretty awesome photos.
Yeah, he's an old buddy of mine from the Rotten Tomatoes days, and that man loves to travel. He's got some great pictures and cruises, and yeah, he's done a lot.
Yeah, I'm jealous because he has access to things. I often do trips for up to a month at a time. I used to bring it because I have long travel days. Lately, I've left it to unplug from everything. I just did a month in India and Nepal and didn't even buy a SIM card. On the other hand, I love small group tours and have a lot of fun with the Switch for the multiplayer aspect. I did a month driving across South Africa once, and we had a Mario Kart tournaments daily on our little bus. That's the life,
awesome.
man. See,
Yeah.
that's my kind of vacation. Like, you go, you experience things, but you use the gaming to connect in between. Like, when you're traveling and like you don't have the ability. Like, I'm not driving, so like I can look out the window, I can enjoy the sights, but I can also do some gaming with some friends in that kind of situation.
That's fair.
It only sucks when you have motion sickness and you can't do that on a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
Dramamine is your friend.
Oh, I can't even do it with that. Airplane, car, whatever. I can't read, I can't play games. I'm miserable the whole time, just looking out the window listening to music like, please let this end soon.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
I wonder, is
I love
it like
flying.
is it an inner ear problem?
It could honestly be a psychosomatic problem because I do have a metaphobia.
Okay.
I don't really know. I mean, I've always had, motion sickness since I was a kid because I would never be able to read in the car, but it's gotten worse since I've gotten older, but my phobia also developed after most of my youthful vacations, so.
Okay.
Brandon Smith says, I try to unplug as much as possible. However, if I have to take a plane to get somewhere, I do like to have something with me to pass the time. Last time I took a trip, I brought my Switch and discovered the hard way that my device had somehow been undesignated as my primary Switch, even though it's the only Switch I've ever owned. This meant that I couldn't use it to play anything other than the 2 games that I had the physical cartridge for. Took a phone call to Nintendo support to sort the whole thing out, which I couldn't do until I got home. Very frustrating. I can relate to Brendan. I had the same thing, except it was my fault because I bought the OLED Switch. I upgraded, and I didn't make that one the primary, and I didn't know that was a thing. So if it's not your primary Switch, it has to basically do a DRM check with the internet to make sure that it's legit. And if you're on an airplane without internet, you can't do it unless you want to pay the $15 to just get that ping, and then you're done with the internet. So yeah, I've had that same thing, and I actually have similar things now. Like I still get a message when I'm not connected to the internet saying I can't verify something, but it still lets me play the game, so I don't get it. And I can't play the Nintendo Switch online games, like the N64 or Super Nintendo games, unless it does that ping first. But I found that if I have the game booted up at home, put my Switch into sleep mode, and they get on the plane, I'm fine, which is weird. But then if you turn it off and go play something else, you can't come back to it, so it's very weird. But yeah, interesting. Thank you, Brandon. Alyssa, you're up.
Sean Coates writes, I wasn't much of a portable gamer growing up. As a kid, I would often take my Game Gear with me on long road trips to see family. The problem was that Game Gears ate batteries like a hog, so it wouldn't last too long. That's about the extent of my history of gaming on vacation. But now that I have a Switch, and there's a certain upcoming event happening in mid-October that's a couple thousand miles east from my present location, yeah, I'll absolutely be taking my Switch with me. It's going to be a 4-hour flight each direction. Plus, I'll be flying back via Dallas, so there will be plenty of opportunities to get my game on.
Oh, don't worry, Sean. We'll be hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sean is fun fact. Sean is the only person to have purchased a ticket to R2V2 at this point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's because he's a real OG.
But yeah, he's not joking. Those Game Gears, if I remember correctly, those things took 6 AA's.
6 AA batteries, and on a fresh AA batteries, you had 4 hours at most, if the screen was bright.
And the Game Gear wasn't that good, man. I'm sorry.
Shut up. The Game Gear was fine.
No, it was not.
It had better games than the Game Boy.
You shut your mouth.
Oh, I will fight
That is
you.
not.
I will fight you.
I could not name one great game on Game Gear. Even the Sonic game was not good.
Sonic Spinball, F-15 Strike Eagle.
Sonic Spinball wasn't on Game Gear. Was
Yes, it was.
I didn't play it there. I only played it on Genesis.
You know, I know because I have all.
I know you do. All right, you're up, dude.
Grant Henry. I always bring my Switch and I never use it. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a just in case thing. If I have some time, I can play some games. But yeah. Nick Brown. Best vacation I ever took was to a cabin on Bay of Green Bay. He says, "Shut up, Scott. Go Bears." But had no cell signal and basically no Wi-Fi. It was so rewarding to not feel the need to watch my phone or play games. I got to tell you, Nick, it probably wasn't the lack of internet that made you enjoy that vacation so much. It was that you were in the beautiful city of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and you were so close to the stadium, to Lambeau Field, you just come to our side, man. You'll feel so much better. But I know what he means though about cell signal. I've taken vacations where I didn't. The first cruise I took, actually, I didn't do the internet package or anything like that, so I didn't have any access to my phone, emails, texts, Facebook, anything like that for a solid week. Had a lot of cleanup to do when I got back in terms of notifications, but yeah, there's something to be. And I think it was Zach that said if you go take a weekend without your devices, it makes the weekend last so much longer. And there is some definite truth to that.
Dude,
you know,
I'm telling you, that. Why do you think casinos don't have clocks?
Mm-hmm. Because they want you to stay in there longer.
Yeah.
Yep.
You lose track of time and you enjoy yourself.
Yep. All right, Alyssa.
Christy Flores writes, Tears of the Kingdom, of course, and she posted a lovely picture of herself and her partner along with that comment.
That
is on the deck.
Chase is a beautiful man.
That is on the deck of the same ship I was on. She was on the cruise with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They're both holding Switches. They're both playing Tears of the Kingdom. That is a dream come true. Sitting out, that would be a great vacation. Sit there and do that. She's a lucky woman. All right, moving over to Discord, CB.
Nifty Plays. Funny thing, I'm actually going on vacation here this week. Yes, I bring my Switch on the plane to play. If we have downtime in the room between festivities, I'll fire up the Switch or play some mobile games. I won't bring it to the poolside or anything, just in the room. At night as well, I'll play before bed. I'm a big mobile gamer, so do the dailies and then head to bed. See?
Nice.
We think alike. We think alike there.
I haven't played a game with dailies in it in a while. I think Diablo 4 will probably become that once I get through the campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. Alan Sheck over in Discord says, my games and game setup makes me prefer staycations to vacations. Holla, Alan. Just saying. Holla. Way cheaper, easier to plan, less stressful, and often equally fun. We did go on vacation with the kids a week ago, though. We brought our Switch and travel dock, and we saw some new party games. Or we bought some new party games, excuse me. The hotel TV was a pretty decent size, and it made for a pretty good gaming setup when we got back at the end of a long day. I like that. But yeah, staycations, that's where it's at.
Yep.
I just want to sit in my basement, eat whatever I want for cheap, drink whatever I want for cheap, not have to be anywhere. If I decide to go, go play some board games with some friends or go to a movie.
Here's the question though: Is this because we're just getting older?
I can't say no because I am getting older, but this is what I've always wanted to do on vacations: is get caught up on my games, and I'm way behind. I don't have the luxury of playing at work like some people.
Well, that's your problem. But no, I'm just sitting here thinking when I was younger, I didn't have any desire to play video games on vacation, but it was very much like party lifestyle, bro. So,
well, I think that's more of a when you're talking younger, like college age or upper high school age, probably
16 to 28, 29.
But when I was younger, it was just more or less to alleviate boredom. I wanted something to do in the car, like staring out the window, and like Alyssa, I would get headaches reading a book in the car. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, doing the games, I didn't have that issue. So Let's see who's up.
I think it's me.
All right, go ahead.
David Newman. I always tell myself I'm going to play my Switch on the plane, but never do. Partly because I'm usually tired getting on the plane and just want to listen to music and pass out. Another is I'm just conscientious about my playing around others. I never know how loud the buttons are and worry it's disturbing others. It's why I almost never play in bed when my wife is trying to sleep. I pretty much never play while on actual vacation. Usually too much going on to sit down and play. I'll only play with my nephews when we visit my in-laws, but that's about it.
I don't understand the idea of buttons bothering somebody. I mean, if you're trying to sleep, that's one thing. But like my wife also wears a sleep mask with speakers in the ears with ambient noises. There's no way she's hearing my Switch buttons.
But we still have to whisper.
It's true.
I actually just thought like another thing. I think the last 2 times I've been on a plane, I haven't played the Switch because we've actually scheduled our flights to be at night. So I just sleep on the plane.
Oh yeah.
Then I get to where we're going, wake up, start doing stuff.
I will say I've gotten in the habit of if I'm not playing Switch docked, I'm playing it with earbuds. Like I'm never using without earbuds. Like to me it's just one more thing to like put a sign on my back to everybody. Hey, he's playing a video game. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but still, even if you have earbuds in, people will still just be like, sir,
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yes, I'll slap you.
All right, CB, I think we got a few more. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Mark Szymanski. I wake up earlier than everybody else in the family, so I'll bring my Switch to pass the time until they wake up. Make pancakes, man. Other than that, no, I'm too busy during the day and too tired when the evening arrives. If I'm just on PTO and staying home, absolutely, every single day. It inspires me to finish whatever game I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, if I get up for my family, I'm making breakfast.
Tim Pollen commented on that and said, same as Mark, away with the wife, no gaming. I'll get caught up on movies on the plane. Staycation at home, I'm gaming every day. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I say that, and I haven't played anything since today. So this is my first day back from vacation, first day of summer, and I've been doing errands, and I did go to a movie, so. Thomas Beck says, no holiday for me. I think I might bring my Steam Deck, but I would probably rather read books on my Kindle when I'm away. I would much rather play a game. For me, books are when I'm doing something that I need something to occupy my mind while I'm doing some other task that requires my hands. Like mowing the lawn or doing laundry or, whatever. I'll listen to an audiobook. I do not officially like to sit down and read a physical book, and everybody thinks I'm crazy, but why not get something else done while you're enjoying a book?
Depends on the book.
Dude, I can't sit down in a chair and just read a book I just can't do it. It reminds me too much of school.
Pour yourself a nice glass of scotch, sit down, enjoy a book.
I can't do it. Everybody, I know I'm in the minority. A lot of people would say they just love to sit down and read a book. I do not like reading a physical book or reading it on a Kindle. It drives me crazy. Yeah, I admit it's a me problem.
Well, it's not a problem. It's just
That's not a problem.
You're being efficient.
I would rather be efficient, but all right, Alyssa.
Paul Hine writes, I gotta try this staycation thing. I've brought games along in the past. Usually it was just games on my phone with an attachable controller. I got on the Switch bandwagon last year, and have brought it along on most trips we have taken. I try to game at the end of the day, but with kids these last couple of years, I'm usually so beat by the end of the day, I've fallen asleep with the Switch on me. Poor character walking aimlessly around in circles.
That happens a lot more the older you get. I've had that happen more times than I care to admit.
Speaking from experience, Scott.
Oh, dude, I can't not fall asleep in the theater for like 2 minutes. I'll just be watching a movie and all of a sudden I'm asleep. It's just the chairs are comfy. I'm just doing what I want to do, and
okay, I'll get you your walker next week.
Shut up.
Do you want the one with the horn on the side?
Candy?
Oh man, I'll get you a little pouch with Werther's in the front. Hand them out to the kids. Hey,
Read
kid.
the last comment, jerk.
Jacob the Horseboy Gunderson. I've brought my games along on vacation for more of a just in case idea. I think it's up to the vacation. If you're going to go party or, you'll be busy all day. I couldn't see a reason to bring them. However, let's say you just wanted to surround yourself in liquid and pretend staying on a floating mall is cool. Maybe just the mall floats around to places with sharks and pirates. I'm probably just going to play some games, remember a time when I was happy. Feels like a shot at somebody.
Oh, yeah.
I
you
have no
think
idea
so.
who.
Well, thank you to everybody for all the comments. We don't know what next week's topic is going to be, but stay tuned. I think we're going to... CB and I are going to be heading up to Kevin's to record some TikTok videos. He bought a fancy camera and tripods. We're going to hopefully have these topics.
If you don't
lined
hear
up
from us
like
for a
well in
week,
advance.
folks, you know which basement to look in.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, stay tuned for next week. That's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider, though. Thank you so much for listening. This episode was produced by Kevin Honigford, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemagemusic.com, STEMAGE music.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingsoutsider.com. Alyssa, before we get out of here, do you have any parting words or recommendations for the listeners?
Well, Outlander is back, and it's going to be my new personality for as long as it airs. The first episode was fantastic.
Yeah? I tried to read the book. Did I tell you that?
The book is hard to get into at first. It's one of my favorites now, but it does take a bit of time to get into. Along with the very first episode of the TV show, it takes about half the episode.
I mean, I gave it a good 6 hours. I still have it on my Audible account, but it was, whew. And plus, is it romance? I got the impression
There
just from
is
seeing the trailers
romance.
of the show.
There's a central romance, but there's a lot of drama going on, mystery, some thriller aspects at points. It covers historical moments. There's a lot going on.
Okay, fair enough. CB, how about you?
I binge watched the entire run of Reacher.
Wow, so like 2 seasons, 3 seasons?
One season.
Oh, it's only one?
It's only one so far. Second
it good?
season's coming. Yeah.
I've heard it's a lot closer to the books than the Tom Cruise version.
It's real good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it, dude. It was a nonstop, and it's wonderfully written. Also, I've got a new Lego set coming in the mail tomorrow.
Oh.
okay. What is it?
The Pac-Man Lego.
You did get it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it took that long.
Funds are a thing, man. Like,
I hear you.
that was an expensive piece. So,
Speaking of Reacher, I don't know if you know this, but Aaron over at the Hollywood Outsider got to interview the guy that plays Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
on their podcast.
Alan
So you
Richardson.
Yeah, I don't remember. You would know his name better than I do, but he seems like a genuinely cool guy. I would highly recommend checking it out if you want to. It's at thehollywoodoutsiders.com. As for me, I do music recommendations all the time, and I got another one. But I'm going to tell you, like every year at the beginning of summer, it's kind of like my kickoff for summer is I create a playlist throughout the year of my favorite songs that are new to me that I discovered that year. And I put them on a playlist, and they're, it's got to be like upbeat, like listen with the windows rolled down or the top down in the vehicle or whatever. And so I've got summer mix this year, obviously 2023. I've got one every year going back as far as 2011. So it's really fun to go back and just kind of like hear those songs and listen to, like, feel like that mindset I was in when I discovered those songs back in those years. So my playlist this year, and if anybody ever wants to see it, I have it on Amazon Music. I don't know if you guys use Amazon or not. I'm trying to find someone with Spotify that'll let me like just upload this playlist to there so that I could do that. But anyway, there's a song on here. There's 2 songs I want to recommend. The first one is a song called Nightlife by the band Off With Their Heads. It is my absolute favorite track I discovered this year. It is very interesting because it's pop punky, which is like my favorite genre, but the lyrics and the way the guy sings it still is angry. It's crazy how polar opposite this song is, in that it's very upbeat and positive sounding, but it's just very angry at the same time. I don't know. I love it when songs do that. And then there's another song which is a little bit more mellower. It's called "Wish You the Worst" by Ryan Mack.
I have heard that one. It's great.
Oh man, that song it's very Jason Mrazzi feeling to it in terms of the way the lyrics roll. It's got this groove to it.
All of his songs are
they
fantastic. Yeah, definitely check them out.
I didn't even seek this guy out. I just was playing whatever on my app, and that song popped up, and it immediately hooked me. It's really good, so I highly recommend those two songs. So, and I would love to hear if you guys have music suggestions. Please hit me up. I am always looking to discover new music in any ways that I can. So
you do know that you can use my Spotify account for that, right?
I did not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd share my Spotify playlist, but there's so many different genres. I mean, there's some K-pop, there's some anime openings. We got the pop punk stuff.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about Spotify is Spotify lets you create folders. Amazon Music does not, which is really annoying. I've sent emails and asked them, like, can you guys consider allowing me to put folders in here so I can, because I've got so many playlists and I would like to organize them.
You need to ask them, would you kindly?
Would you kindly? There you go. All right. Well, Alyssa, thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you. It's been too long.
I know.
CB, thanks so much for being here, man. We are going to be spending a lot of time together in the next few weeks, I think. So get used to this face, man. I'm just saying. Thanks, everybody out there, for listening. We do appreciate it. And until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Alyssa White and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.